Hi guys, welcome to the Incredible Hulk podcast. We are talking about the episode from season one, and it's called "Of Guilt, Models, and Moida," as they say in Heart to Heart. and
It
so
just
I'm,
doesn't pay to be super sexy, apparently.
I am joined for this particular episode by my good friends. First of all, I'm going to introduce you to Phil.
Hello, good to see you. Lot.
And also we have Sue. How are you?
I'm all right, thank you.
Great. Now, of Guilt, Models, and Murder. Now, this is a really quite intriguing one from season one. I think this is kind of like a really good sort of murder mystery type thing that unfolds, you know, and who done it, I think. This is when they started to sort of kind of experiment with the format quite early on, really. It's quite a different kind of opening. Weird, in a way, where it shows Banner, you know, in the shadows with this really eerie music, and you see him going to a sink. You can't see his face, but when he puts the light on, looks up, he's got the eyes going, you know?
Yes.
The white eyes. So he's just coming down from a transformation. You think, what the hell happened here? You know, it's a really interesting opening with the tap dripping slowly and the slow-mo shots, and he's looking all confused in the mirror, like, what's going on? What's happened to me? So what's your opening, you know, your kind of like thoughts at the beginning of that? I thought that was a really interesting kind of start, you know.
I had a lot of joy seeing it start off on something that wasn't like the problem. It was the superhero, you know, and his quiet time, how he was able to sit and collect himself and come back to transform back to Bruce David Banner, or David Bruce Banner. Anyway, that transformation back was really interesting, and it was great seeing that. It was great seeing him collect himself and become more rational.
Yeah, and then kind of like focusing on what the problem is that opens up the story as he goes around the house. When he sees the girl, that, you know, the crumpled body of the girl on the floor, and he starts having flashbacks and stuff like that. You know, he's, oh my God, am I a killer? You know.
Yeah. I like that because as you said, he's trying to piece together what's gone on post him in his ragged clothes and thinking, did I do this? Or, you know, and the fact that he has a flashback of seeing himself as the monster, I didn't think he could do that. I didn't think he had any memories of any time he becomes a monster.
Yeah, that is unusual. They kind of touched upon that just briefly in the pilot. You know, you remember when he came down from the first Hulk out and he goes to the scientist's house, you know, and he's all in his torn clothes and he's trying to recall what happened. And there's a brief flashback of the Hulk in that sequence when he's going to smash the car.
Yes.
And he says, I have a feeling that I was incredibly strong. And he just sort of, but whether he's actually seeing that or whether it's just for the audience's benthing, we're never really sure.
Yeah, I think I was thinking maybe that's for our benefit. Flashback. Other thing I have to big props to is the very famous Jeremy Brett, who was well known for playing Sherlock Holmes.
Yes.
Sherlock freaking Holmes. Oh
yes,
my
can
God.
you believe it? Yeah.
Yes. And I'm very enamored by his voice. His voice is it's a lovely English cross American.
It's so distinctive, isn't it? I mean, you can tell it's him straight away without even seeing him, you know?
Yes.
Yeah, he became hugely famous as Holmes over here. I don't know if it transferred to America, but he was very popular here.
Oh, no.
Yeah. And he was brilliant as Holmes, I thought. I thought he was amazing.
He was the best one of all of them.
One of the best, without a doubt, yeah. So it's really quite strange to see him in a Hulk episode.
It was great, and he did. Yeah. He did. You know, he was such a good actor that he played the possibility that he was responsible for all this trouble, and yet, you know, he was also not responsible for any of the trouble.
That's what got me, the switcheroo of the truth. I was like, oh, okay, it's a woman thing again. So
But it was also good the way they did it, because they kept telling their story, so we'd see another flashback and a different version each time of the events.
yeah,
Like 3 different versions. I thought that was really good how they did that. You know, to say
that poor old glass cabinet had it so many times.
Yeah,
Great,
I wonder how they
great
did
acting though. I mean, Jeremy Brett is phenomenal. He played it like I bought it, that he was responsible. I bought it. I totally thought that he was. It was like the it was his responsibility that she died.
He was a bit of a rotter though. Anyway, you have to.
Of course, without a doubt.
One of those Boo Hiss type villains, isn't he?
Yeah.
You know. You know. Okay. You know, his motives were a bit questionable anyway. Really, you know, he wasn't all clear cut, was he? But.
Because I was wondering, you know, when he hires David Banner to be his butler or valet, as they call it. So was his I can't say which one I'm looking for. Was his idea was to sort of like find out what Banner knew about that night, or was he going to frame him again for something?
Yeah, my initial thought was that he was going to like frame him for the murder. You know, get him there so he could get a, you know. A kind of grip on him, but of course
I thought it was because his other valet was blackmailing him.
Yes, yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yes, he would. But yeah, I see what you're saying.
But also he did say that he saw Banner that night, didn't he? He saw him running away from the house when they were driving towards him in the car.
That's right.
Just after the Hulk out. So maybe he thought, you know, I could use him as a stooge or something, you know, that kind of thing. The scene where, as we were talking about earlier on, the scene with the Doberman dogs coming at Banner, that was quite good. I love the way he threw one up in the air and you see it go, you know, sort of hanging like, you know, pathetically in the air.
No Dobermans would harm him in this.
Yeah, no animals were harmed.
I know, right? Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I felt so bad for that pup. Oh my god.
Sue, it was hardly a pup. Well,
that was one big dog. God.
It was bigger.
Yeah, it was just a pup.
But it was nice. It was an interesting transformation, that one, the way they were like biting at him and his leg and his arm. I thought that was cool.
I actually felt worse for the dog than I did for his wife.
Ooh.
I know.
You know what kind of got me just a little bit? You know the bit where they got David Banner and the other guy trussed up in the car whilst it's being crossed down in the
Oh yeah. I
thought there was the Hulk there, and David Banner was the one that was trussed up. He was pulling out. I thought, hang on, how can the Hulk and David Banner be there at the same time? And I realised it's the other guy, so I got confused by that part.
Oh, the other fellow, yeah, because he was thrown in there. That was the guy, the ex-employer, wasn't it?
Yeah.
The other valet.
Yeah. The other fellow.
I guess that's called valet parking when you stick them in a car and drive them.
Yeah, that's the way you get rid of them.
What was cool was I mean, besides Jeremy Brett, there was Lonnie Anderson.
Yes, I was going to mention her, Lonnie Anderson. That's right.
I mean, she was, you know, she had it. She was doing a bit of acting too. I mean, because I was convinced of her innocence, as I was convinced of Brett's responsibility.
Some of her lines were a bit, what do you call it? A bit wonky in the sense of, it's like he's mad and all this business.
Yeah.
Like, he's mad.
Yeah. Some of the dialogue didn't quite sit right, did it? It was seemed very natural.
It was very pantomime kind of responsing, but it was funny in that regard.
She was famously married to Burt Reynolds, wasn't she?
Was she? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. For a number of years, I believe.
A very pretty Dolly Bird for that time period. Very pretty.
Yeah. Come from a model background, I think she actually did it real, you know, for real, you know, let alone the story.
Yeah.
But
she had a. I mean, she was one of the perks that he was trying to show. He was trying to show David before, like as his but you know, you could tell that she was having none of that.
Yeah. Yeah, he said, like, I think you're, you know, when he was like introducing him to the job, he said, I think you'll like the fringe benefits, and he like looking at, you know, he showed the girls in the, over in the background and all that, all the models that were walking around and that, you know, it's a bit like Hugh Hefner's house, wasn't it? You know, all these,
yeah, it was
you know,
like
way, yeah,
rich guy with all these girls hanging around, you know, yeah.
I liked it. It was a bit, like you said earlier, it was a very well executed episode, and how they paced it out and put it across.
It was.
You didn't know who was responsible, and you got different scenarios of who it could be, and it's like, okay.
Yeah. It was definitely like that sort of classic Agatha Christie type thing, wasn't it? Really, you know.
Yeah.
Which was nice for something like that, to do it with that kind of Hulk twist in it as well. You know, it's quite intriguing. You know.
But I like how each time when someone's trying to give the Hulk a deposition, they always end with the fact that he acts kindly at some point, where people should realise he's not a threat.
Yeah.
He's trying to protect people or rescue people, and still Mr. McGee is a knobhead for not sort of like getting that.
I thought it was quite touching, that moment where it was also, I mean, it was one of the flashback sequences, you know, when they were telling their side of the story. But it was a nice moment where one of them mentions he picked up the girl, the Hulk, I mean, he's holding the dead girl in his arms, and he started crying. You remember that bit?
Yeah, I remember.
That was quite touching when he started to weep, you know, over her body and that. Little moments. There's kind of little moments like that where you always see this tender side of the Hulk comes out, you know.
Yeah. He's not all green and
destructive and that.
Hulk smash. He's green and you know, I'm going to care for the world.
Yeah.
He does have a soft side to him, yeah. You know, underneath all that. And I think that's really when he does those kind of moments.
Really does. He you know, like you said earlier, you were alluding to, or you said in a previous podcast how Lou Ferrigno really had a large character arc in through the whole process.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I thought he, you know, started, if this was one of the earliest episodes, I thought that this was a great show, that he's already started that growth process, you know?
Yeah, he has indeed, in just a few episodes, yeah.
Once again, the trousers were a perfect fit, and absolutely cut off to the knee, and not a ripped hole in it above the knee. I thought that, my gosh.
Yeah, the interesting thing though, Phil, is as the seasons go on, particularly like in season 4, I think 5.
Okay.
They rip right up his thighs. So you know, you can always skip to those ones and have a look. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll do that. Have a little
knock yourself out. Yeah.
Funny.
But yeah, they get more extreme as the years. Also, I was saying his wig gets more extreme as well. His wig gets worse.
Oh, does it?
Hairpiece gets worse as the years go by as well. Yeah, so you've got that to look forward to as well. He's got really bad hair and ripped trousers. Yeah.
Was there ever a replacement for Lou Ferrigno in any of the episodes at all that ever happened?
No, he played him all the way through.
No, he always played the lead. He always played the lead part. Yeah, I mean, there may have been like a few, you know, stunt things that were done with someone else, but
I thought Lou Ferrigno did most of his own stunt work.
He did quite a lot. He had to do quite a lot of it because they, as I said before, had trouble finding someone to replace him.
He met the producer or something.
Yeah,
he was moving from wrestling or bodybuilding into stunt work, and then, you know, he captured the imagination of someone who'd worked with him on one of his first stunt gigs, and became the Hulk.
Yeah.
Cool. Even Lou Ferrigno got discovered. Lou Ferrigno is pretty much a staple Comic-Con attender at most of the East Coast Comic-Cons.
Yeah.
It's pretty amazing.
Yeah, he's doing all right out of that. Yeah. Also, he's got his own gym as well. He's got a big business. He runs his own gym, I think, in LA.
Is that what he does now? He runs a gym.
Yeah. Well, he's been doing it for quite a long time, I believe, and that's really successful. He's done really well with that, and he gets a lot of celeb weightlifters that go down there as well and stuff and train. And
I can imagine that.
You know, I think Arnie pops in there sometimes, and that, you know, because they're good friends. You know, they go way back. So yeah, so he does it.
So it was a good episode. I thought that I liked the jeopardy of him. You know, he just signed right on to be a valet for the guy who he thought killed the lady.
Yes. So it's a kind of a double turnaround going on here. You got you got the man of the house hiring him to sort of like frame him or sort him out, and then you got him going in there to find out the truth of what happened.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And I like the way that Banner, like, you know, quizzes Lonnie Anderson. He won't let go of the issue, will he?
Yeah.
I saw you last night. You know, he's straight to the point, and he's sort of, and you notice that the way she was delaying saying something, because I had a feeling she knew about that guy with the gun coming at them.
Oh, okay.
If you watch her reaction, unless it's just bad acting, her reactions seem as if she's delaying it till he gets there to shoot. But she keeps looking around her like this, and then she's sort of stalling, you know. But I don't know if that was the intention.
No, that's true, because just remember, her initial thing was she wanted to be with that guy, with Jeremy Brett's character.
Yeah.
So she would have been complicit to the whole thing anyway.
Yeah.
I mean, she's done away with the wife in some way.
She must have been part of that setup when they were trying to shoot at Banner, I think. Because I think they were aiming for him, not her. So that scene was quite cool, you know, when they were giving chase. I like the bit also when McGee arrives and they get in the car, and instead of starting the engine, they just back down the lane, like put on the brake off.
That's a very good way. That's a very good way of getting around the car, rather than rev the engine and be alerted by it. That was cool. How to use that.
And the good thing with the tape recorder in Jack's car, McGee's car, that he uses later on to record their confession was really good. I thought. He kept that in his back pocket, and the Hulk didn't break it, luckily.
The Incredible Hulk stealing cars is pretty fun.
Yeah. So I thought that was really nice, how they did that, you know. So when you see him change back, he's in an alleyway, and he's playing back the tape, and he's like, I've got it, yeah. You know, I've got the confession still from Lonnie Anderson, so that's really good. Yeah. So overall, what would you think of this one? I thought it was one up there with one of the best, actually, in my opinion, because of the style of the story.
Yeah, I agree.
Quite quickly.
Well, I like the fact that it was different than the other episodes that I've watched. It was cool, and you know, I love how, to counterpoint the green of Hulk and stuff, there it's all you know, sexy women and stuff, and men in big Armani suits or whatever. So
implying this, you know, they have to do that to imply there's lots of money here.
Yeah, it's like it's just like a decision that the producer or the directors make, you know, to make it to make the contrast really strong.
Yeah.
It's weird. It's weird how we know that David Banner. Okay, he uses a different name to solve this crime or thing. So McGee's not aware that David Banner was
David Blaine.
David Blaine was. Isn't that the magician? But never mind. Anyway.
Funny enough, Bill Bixby did play the magician in the series as well, so there's a bit of a link.
There you go. But yeah, I like how you know, McGee is unaware that David Banner is actually in that kind of situation himself, full on, but he never sees the clock on, and I like that.
Yeah.
It was a brilliant story. It was nice and simple and flowed really nicely. Even when you got the flashback to help along, to choose who was the culprit.
Yeah.
It's an easy story. I enjoyed it, and you know, if anybody out there wants to watch it, go out there and watch it. You know, it's a good series. and that's a particularly good episode.
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping these podcasts might do. Is also, you know, not only just like a bit of reminiscing for us, but also for the listeners who may not have watched these episodes or may not have seen them for a while.
Yeah,
it might be nice if they, you know, if we kind of, in a sense, are recommending them to them, so they can have a look again and they think, oh wow, that was actually, you know, and maybe have a new fresh look on it, you know, take on it.
right.
Just because a program is slightly dated for the time it comes from, it doesn't mean it's any more or less any good, because it's even better now than it was back then, because they know how to tell it. It shows you how to tell a story. As like today, on television is very, you know, they don't do it like they used to. Put it that way.
Yeah. I mean, I know. Okay, it hasn't got the high tech effects now as it has now, but it had good actors, solid stories, you know, and I think that's what drove it. You know,
you don't need flashy stuff to make a story work. If you've got good actors and good tension going on, you know, you can enjoy it less.
And good practical special effects, like when he looks down at the sink. You knew that they'd cut away, and then that when he lifted his head back, he'd have normal eyes or whatever.
Yeah.
So I mean, there was good or practical effects.
Yeah, and that's what it did really well. You know, it didn't. I mean, having said that, though, I mean, it did. The Hulk did have, for its time, a very big television budget. Believe it or not.
They hired Jeremy Brett and Lonnie Anderson. Pretty hot at the time, you know.
Yeah, not so much the actors they hired. I mean, the actual production budget was huge for a show like that. You know, I think they were costing like $500,000 per episode to make.
Wow.
And that's 1978 we're talking about.
Yeah.
That's a lot of money, man. You know, and but that was the reality of it. I've heard this from a few sources actually, that people that worked on it, you know, that told me that was the kind of budget the series had. When you think how many episodes they made, $500,000 for each one, so that soon adds up a lot, you know.
You're talking about 12 episodes per season, roughly.
It was like it was an expensive show to do at the time. It was, yeah. Compared to probably a lot of other series of that kind, you know. But I think it was mostly because of the transformation stuff. Maybe also the props being, you know, the smashing of all the props, and because he did some huge destructive things sometimes, and that cost, you know, if they have to retake that, it costs an awful lot of money, you know.
Yeah, that's why I was wondering about that tall glass case getting broken free.
Yeah, he must have done that.
They must have had to rebuild that somehow, or had copies, reproduction ones of them.
I think unless it's done like with a clever cut, where he only does that one shot where he whacks it.
Yeah.
But then again, you see 3 different people peering through that thing at him, don't you? I'm not sure how they did that. Whether they must have just done all their close-ups first and then smashed the prop at the end.
Good point.
Probably just very clever cutting, I think, because I couldn't see them knocking that prop down 3 or 4 times like that.
Yeah, at 80 episodes or so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That really was quite a big budget.
Oh yeah, definitely. I don't think any other budgets like, you know, of that sort, action heroes stories back then, had anywhere near that. You know, I think that was probably the exception to the rule. But I don't even know if Wonder Woman had that kind of money flying around then. You know, and she came out around about the same time.
Yeah, can I ask our host if is how many of these episodes are you planning on discussing?
Well, quite a lot. I haven't really thought about it too much. It's just a question, like I haven't run out yet of steam, so that's good. But I keep going as long as people are interested in, you know, wanting to.
Because 80 episodes, that's a good amount anyway.
Yeah, I don't know if I'll cover all 80, but I mean, you know, because that might be several years. But
Are you talking with many of the the people who worked on the show, the co-stars and everything?
Yeah, I'm reaching out to them. I've reached out to a lot, but I'm not hearing back from all of them, as it were. It's just a question of will they or won't they contact me.
And availability as well.
I've left it open. I've sent messages and invites out, but I don't know if I'll hear from all of them or not. It's a waiting game, really.
Just because you're angry with somebody who's trying to move in and become or you're trying to become the spokesmodel for something, you don't bump off the other person. I mean that'll make that'll make it news, and not the kind that you probably want as a model.
True.
I've completely lost what you're talking about here.
I think if you want to get rid of the competition, you don't make a song and dance about it.
All right. Okay.
I have to be a bit more stealthily than that. It's not very good advertisement when a green monster is accused of killing a model.
No, that's true. Yeah. Yeah. How you doing, Alex?
So she knew kung fu, and they concentrated.
That was funny.
She said that was that. I've told her what I can do.
Yeah, that was quite funny. I was like, okay, so she's showing her prowess to this woman, saying, "You don't do what I tell you, I'm going to use my karate on you." And then whilst that was happening, my flashback came to the old high karate adverts.
Oh, I remember them. Yeah. They were funny, weren't they?
Yeah, I mean, that's the other thing that surprised me too, because I mean, I would think that a lot of the characters, even though the special effects weren't the greatest, even in Wonder Woman, I mean, they did actually have dialogue in there, and surprisingly, they even snuck it into Charlie's Angels once or twice. That, just because the person's a woman doesn't mean they're weak, or they can't outthink their opponent, or they can't defend themselves. Yeah. But it was so funny how the Lonnie Anderson character kept going, I know kung fu. Well, that's great if you don't have a gun or anything like that. But even if the other person had a gun, then kung fu really wouldn't matter, because it's right, exactly. But I said, even I thought that was kind of tacky, because it's like, well, I thought we already discussed feminism and all that. And even in Charlie's Angels, there was a scene where a guy tried to grab her and she almost broke his wrist and said, "No, I don't like boys. I like men." I was like, oh, wait a minute. What happened?
Yeah.
Somebody's been reading the feminist book. What the heck?
By the way, listeners, this is Alex that just joined us, in case you wondered who it was. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that for the benefit of people that are listening, because they can't see this. So,
this is
not a visual medium. Yeah. So all in all, I think it was a great story. I think great addition to season 1, great addition for the show itself, anyway. And I think people should have a relook at it if they haven't seen it for a while. I think it's definitely worth checking out again.
And you across the pond will recognize, will have that face and voice, like
Jeremy Brett
doing for that Jeremy Brett guy.
That silky voice, yeah.
Yes. What an excellent voice he has.
He has it. They're very distinctive, yeah. And he was good in it, and he was good as a bit of a shady character. I thought he played that really well, instead of like this sort of like kind of goody guy as Holmes, Even he had his flaws, of course, but his demons. But I thought he was good as sort of like a slimy kind of posh kind of guy, In
a weird way, I thought he wasn't used to the American heat. I mean, some of the scene, he seemed to be struggling to acclimatize, whereas you got Dr. David Banner in that suit, and he's just cool as cucumbers.
Yeah. It's the differences between Brits and Americans. Yeah, we're not used to that. To LA heat, wherever it was shot. I think it was in Los Angeles.
Yeah, definitely. It's definitely a Los Angeles program.
Yeah.
I mean, doesn't have any of the characteristics that you need for like or for San Francisco or New York or whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
But fun to watch it.
It was great. So any of you who haven't seen Of Guilt, Models and Murder, please go and look at it again, because it's definitely a standout story, I think.
I think so too, I agree.
With some quite famous faces, as we said, in it too. So I think that half the budget probably went to Lonnie Anderson and Jeremy Brett. Yeah. They got 125,000 each or something.
We can only afford a plastic gun to bend, but there you go.
Yeah. Anyway, guys, I want to thank you both for being with me for this one, because I think it's been really enjoyable. So thanks, Susan. Thanks, Phil.
Yep, and a little.
And thanks, Alex, for his cameo appearance.
Yeah, there you go. Yes. Excellent.
All right, guys. Well, thanks for listening. Thank you both for joining me, or three of you for joining me, and we'll see you soon. Take care.
Take it easy.
Bye. Thanks, guys.